First, let's look back on the first 4 days. And tonight, as we're talking on this Thursday night, the world champion Peter Wright has gone out. The defending champion Gerwyn Price has survived 2 scares to get through to this knockout stage. Now, what have you made of the world number 2 and 3's performances this week?
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre. You look at Gerwyn Price, and he was nowhere near his best up until that match against Ryan Joyce. And really the last few legs against Ryan Joyce, coming back from 4-2 down with 2 breaks of throw to win that match, and ended up averaging 106. And that's what we expect out of Gerwyn Price. Not having to come back from 2 legs down, but, averaging over the ton and hitting the right shots at the right time and winning. But, the first 2 matches, we did get to see some of that. We did get to see most specifically him winning. And he had to survive 4 match starts against Mikuru Suzuki. And it was a very poor match against his World Cup teammate in Johnny Clayton, or a fairly poor match, I should say. There were definitely worse over the few days. But he did get the job done. And that's really all that matters. And when the pressure was on, and when there was the possibility that he was going to be knocked out, because if he lost to Ryan Joyce, he would have finished 3rd in the group, he did get it done, and he lifted his game. He played like the 2-time defending champion he is. And that's why he advanced. Peter Wright, it's kind of in the opposite. He didn't hit at the right times. That's why he lost to Dirk van Dijvenbode. He was abysmal against Evan Peterson on Thursday night in what was not a must-win, but a match that he had to win 3 legs, and he only got to 2. And in many ways, he was fortunate to get to 2. That's how bad he was. But he was absolutely brilliant in beating Ian White and putting Ian White under all that pressure to not just have to win, but to have to win big, to have any chance to get through on the final night. Ian White did win big. Ian White played fantastic. Actually, Ian White played fantastic in both games, but was able to win it. But Peter Wright didn't. Peter Wright had 1 great match and 2 poor ones, similar to Gerwyn Price. But the difference is Gerwyn Price hit at the right times and lifted his game when he needed to. That's why he's going on. Peter Wright didn't.
This is why we love this sport. I mean, you go back to the start of the week before a dart was thrown in the 2020 Grand Slam. We put a question out, one of our questions of the week on Twitter, and it was, who of the big 3 do you make as the favourite to win this Grand Slam? Gerwyn Price, who's won it the last couple of years, 57%. Peter Wright, 40%. Michael van Gerwen, 3%. And we're going to come on to talk about him in a moment. But yeah, as you say, just touching on the 2 players in question there who have had difficult weeks so far, one less so than the other because they've got through. But starting with Gerwyn Price, and he was very fortunate to get through in that first game against Mikuru Suzuki. She had the 4 match starts to get through 2 brilliant checkouts, the 135 on the ball, the 116. So it was hard to watch that her miss the chances to win, because she definitely deserved it. She deserved to get that win, but Gerwyn Price gets the win, and we come down to the final round of group games. And wouldn't it have been ironic, his World Cup partner gets the 5-0 win against the women's world champion, and Gerwyn Price in his post-match after that first game was saying, all I was thinking about was a 5-0, 5-1 being quite disrespectful, you got to say, but gets through that final game. And as you say, towards the end of that game against Ryan Joyce, his level probably stayed the same. I was looking, he was averaging 107 and 4-2 down, averaged around 104 for those final 3 legs. I think he had a 15 and a 14 dart bit. Ryan Joyce did drop his level. I think he averaged 91 over those last 3 legs. But give credit to Gerwyn Price, you have to keep that level going and hope that you get the chances over that short format. And he certainly did that. And with Peter Wright, I mean, wow, what can you say? It's only a couple of days ago he was up on that stage against Ian White, averaging in the 90s, low 90s, changes his darts, goes back to the set that he's had so much success with, and averages near on 120 if you take away those first 6 starts when he was warming up, and then he kicked off with that 180. And then to come into tonight, it was, performance like we've not seen from him for a very, very long time. The 83 average, the 7 missed darts at the double as well in that 4th leg to go 2-all. Would he have won the game against Devon? I'm not going to say he would have, but you'd have fancied him to get at least that extra leg that he needed to get through to the next round. So not been the best of weeks for either of them, but for Gerwyn's sake anyway, he's won all 3 games and he can still continue that title defence this weekend.